In this video, I'm going to share with you a beat that I started last night. I started out with kind of lo-fi vibes, and then it morphed into something completely different. And I want to share with you the process. I use audio tracks to record guitar and vocals in this, so I am going to share a little bit of vocals that I did. So if you're interested in that, stay tuned. Check it out. All right, let's get right into it. I'm throwing my headphones on. So this beat started with this drum beat. I loaded up my template. I got a template that I'm working on in here. It's like a master template just so I can get my workflow down. But I started with this template and I started with this drum beat right here. So let's kind of solo this out. And just so you're aware, I'm using the MPC 2.9 software, but I do have my MPC 1 in front of me and that's controlling the software. So here's the beat. So at this point, I wanted to put a lo-fi sounding piano on it. And then I wanted to put some guitar over top of the piano and then add a bass. But let's listen to that piano that I did come up with. So over here, if I go over to my chords right here, let's go ahead and solo that too. And so what that really is, it's a piano preset that came with my complete, A49. But on its own, if you listen to it, it just sounded too warm. So I put this vinyl effect. This is actually a free plugin. It's really, really cool plugin. But you can adjust different things like the warp and stuff in it. But if you listen, all right, it's a big difference. It takes a lot of that lower range out of it. Now what I proceeded to do after this is just put some guitar to it. So I tried some different guitars. So the cool thing about the MPC software and the MPC, the new MPCs, is that you do get audio tracks. But if you actually use the software, you can use plugins that aren't MPC plugins. A big shortcoming with the MPC standalone unit is there's no real guitar emulation. So it's not really the best to use in standalone unless like you already have your guitar processed before you put it into the MPC in standalone. But I just plugged my guitar right into my audio interface. I'm using my Zoom L12. So it's working in the key of C minor. And so that's what the chords were in C minor. So I decided to play the guitar in the scale of C minor. And then I did a couple things here, like I added some guitar here, right? I was like, okay, that sounds pretty cool, right? And then I added some more guitar. I just kept layering it up. I was like, yeah, that sounds pretty cool. And and then I added a little bit more drums to it. I added like this hi-hat right here. And then what I did is I came over to the bass, added some bass. If you hear that clicking and popping, that's actually the Isotope Vinyl plugin. I'll actually leave a link for this vinyl plugin in the description, or you can just search for it. It's just an Isotope Vinyl. It's a pretty cool plugin. It's free. So at this point, I thought the beat was sounding nice and full, but I wanted to add some elements to the background. So I was like, well, maybe I could add a conversation to the background, like just some people talking or something. And I went on the Splice. And when I was on Splice, I just put like vocal or talking. And I didn't really find a whole lot, but I did find this. I know who you are. And I thought that sounded really good. Now this is time stretched because the original BPM of this was 100 BPM and I time stretched it to 75 BPM right here in the sample editor. So if you look right there, you could just time stretch it. It's very simple. You just put, the original BPM and whatever BPM you want, press to do it, and you time stretch it. And by chance, this was actually in C minor, and I was like, well, that sounds pretty cool. So I actually added this right? I actually added this into here. And I thought it sounded really cool, but it didn't necessarily fit what I was doing. But I did think it was cool sounding. So what I did is I started to make a new sequence with that. So, and if you look into software here, if you right click this, you can actually copy the sequence to a new sequence. So that's what I did. I copied this one sequence to the second sequence here. And then I completely changed everything. I kind of kept the basic drum beat, but I added more kicks to it to go with the kind of a rhythm of the bass. Changed the bass up a little bit. I added more guitars to it, right? So if you look in here, guitar 1 is gone, guitar 2 is gone. Then this is the vocal take that I just let you hear. And then I put guitar 3 in here. So this is guitar 3. And then I went over to this right here. And I layered that guitar with the other guitar. Now keep in mind, I put the vocal over top of that with a bass and the drums. So all of those elements together. Even though this is what I started with, I ended up muting the chords for this, or for what I have so far. It's not finished by any means finished. It's just the idea I came up with last night. But then what I did, if you listen to it now, completely changed it up, right? And I was like, okay, that kind of fits. That kind of makes a lot more sense, right? Let me show you what I did with this guitar because I feel like I didn't really explain that enough. So if you go over here, all I did is plug my guitar into my audio interface, pick the correct input, which over here it's input 2. Once you set your input right here with the guitar on the audio tracks, you can put any like VST plugin you want. So I put Guitar Rig 6 on here. This is actually a free version of it. This is completely free. But I put it on there and I put this preset on it. And that's what gives me this sound. So that's pretty much that. I just recorded that right into the audio track. But if you check something out, right? This is what the guitar actually sounds like. This is what it sounds like with Guitar Rig 6. So that's how I got that sound on the guitar right there. I just used the preset, you know, because all this was done in just a couple hours. I was just, you know, going through it really fast, doing all the different parts. But I was pretty happy when I heard this. But then I was like, I kind of hear more vocals in that. So what I ended up doing is actually going over here and I recorded my own vocals into this. I actually recorded at a lower level than that. I just amped up the level here. You can see I amped up the level to +4. It's actually recorded much quieter. Like that. All right, so let's take all these effects off. So this is what I came up with. Let me show you who I really can be. All right, and then I added like just a quick EQ to cut out some of the low frequencies and just small stuff like that. And I added a quick compressor on there. You can see how like all over the place my levels are. So I just put a compressor on it. And then I just put a stereo width on it, just a preset add width to mono because I was lazy and I wanted it just to sound different. I just plugged this microphone into my audio interface, what it's plugged into now, the Zoom L12, and recorded directly into the software. All right. And what's cool about the Zoom L12 is I can actually monitor the music and my microphone directly from the L12. So I can have a direct monitor of everything that's going on. And then I just recorded this in there. Let me show you who I really can be. I'm not perfect, but I want you to see. All right, so that is the chorus of this song. And after I was hearing the, the vocals in the chorus, I was like, there needs to be like a verse to it. So what I did is I just took my handy dandy notebook here and just wrote a quick verse down. Actually wrote it here and then like added, I didn't even use any of this. I just rewrote it over here. And then I sung out a verse. So what I did is I went to, sequence 1 and just right-clicked, copied the sequence over, and then named it verse 1. I extended it to 16 bars. So if you right-click here, you could double the length. I just doubled it twice. So it started at 4 bars. I doubled the length of it once. That gave me 8 bars, and I doubled the length of it again. That gave me 16 bars. So that way I have like a 16-bar verse. And I made some small edits. This track's not even in there. I muted that track, but I just made some small edits to the drums here and there. Like I added a little roll there. But if you look, I recorded the verse right here, the whole thing. So I recorded this. This is the first take. You can see verse, Vox, record 1. I just did one take of it because it was like pushing midnight at this point. And then right here, this was kind of a work in progress. I was just kind of writing stuff to complete the verse, right? And so I just punched in right here. You can see record 3. So this is basically all one take, and then I just added this at the end of it because I messed it up in the first take. So what I'm going to do, this is kind of a different kind of vibe for me. But I figure, it's 2021. I need to start making more music. I've been making music every single day that I possibly can. And I kind of want to share with you the process. Maybe you can learn something from this, or maybe, you just find it interesting. By no means is this like an official song or anything. This is just what I came up with last night. I don't really like record a lot of vocals and share it. I call this song Life on Social Media. So I'm going to play it for you now. So I'm going to come over here to song mode. Every day, I try to impress. In reality, I want to play. If I told you a fraction of what is really on my mind, you wouldn't believe a word that I say. So I press on, pretend like I belong. Tried to grab this feeling before it's all gone, but it's not long. The doubt creeps on. I don't know how to express, so I put it in a song. Don't need to share the details of what's really wrong. Just grab my guitar and put my feeling on the tape. Sometimes they criticize every move I make. They act like they never made a single mistake, and I'm the one that's fake. Yet when I look, I see they have no weight. They simply do not appreciate a man that's just trying to do something great. Let me show you who I really can be. I'm not perfect, but I want you to see. Let me show you who I really can be. I'm not perfect, but I want you to see. Every day, I try to impress. In reality, I want to play. All right, you get the point. It repeats the verse there, and then it goes into the chorus another 4 times, and then there's an outro. By no means is this like mixed or mastered or anything like that. This is just a rough idea that I came up with last night, but I was having fun, so I figured I would share it with you. I hope you enjoyed this. Maybe I'll do more videos about kind of some of the songs that I'm working on in the future. Possibly it's helpful. I did all this inside of MPC Software, so you can definitely record and make songs inside of the MPC Software. Like I say, every single day I'm making beats. So kind of want to share some of the progress along the way. And, I call this song Life on Social Media. I'll leave the lyrics in the description, but, it's just like you always got to make the most perfect thing and release that perfect thing on social media, right? And then if it doesn't live up to somebody's standards, right, they can criticize it like times a million. And then, you go over and you look at their social media and you're like, well, I don't even get what you're even talking about. Like, it's not like you're making anything better. Or we're all just humans, so why are you criticizing what in the world I'm putting out? So I may make more videos like this. Let me know if you're interested in more videos like this. Let me know in the comments. And I get it, if song's not perfect, I just scratched it down last night, but you just gotta make music. All right, I rambled too much. I hope you appreciate this video. I might do more videos like this in the future. If you want me to, leave a comment below. I appreciate you for watching, and continue creating music. We'll talk soon.